I gotta know. Give me a yes or no down below in the comments. If Tom Brady wanted to play for the Raiders, should the Silver and Black sign him? Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you why it makes sense, why it doesn't make sense, and how likely this is to happen. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And if you haven't seen the latest going on around Tom Brady, well, luckily, that's what we're here for. There are multiple speculations and rumors around the quarterback potentially coming out of retirement and returning to the NFL. In a recent, we'll call it podcast, Brady was sitting down getting his hair cut and threw out some teams that he'd be interested in playing for. He said the 49ers, the New England Patriots. He also mentioned the Las Vegas Raiders. So not only did Tom Brady mention the Raiders this weekend, he posted a video of him running without a shirt on. Basically, it was like him showing that he still got it at age 46. The reason why that I find this to be interesting is because, let's face it, you got Tom Brady, who is going to be a part owner of the Raiders, so there's already a little bit of connection there, saying that he's open to the idea of returning to the NFL and points at the Raiders being a team name. If I didn't talk about this, I wouldn't be doing my job correctly as a Raiders Report host. So is Tom Brady going to be returning? Well, I'll say this. Brady didn't say that he's not opposed to the idea of returning for nothing. Like, he said that for a reason. Tom Brady is a planner. TB12 doesn't do anything on accident. And yes, he can sit up here and he can say all these things like he's a humble human being, but he also knows this. His words carry weight. And the fact that he said what he said and then posted a video in a 72-hour span right before the NFL draft tells me that if a team picked up the phone and gave Tom Brady a call and said, hey, do you want to play in the NFL again? I think he's crazy enough to probably say yes, because Brady retired for the second time last offseason. And last year he said, I'm retiring for good. And then fast forward 365 days later, he's thrown out the idea again that he could return at age 46. He's going to be 47 years old on August 3rd. Can you imagine trotting out a 47-year-old quarterback this upcoming season? I mean, it is bananas. But however, though, there's also some of that smoke that has been around Tom Brady before, because I can remember I made a video back in 2022 that I thought was going to break YouTube of Tom Brady might be buying a house in Las Vegas. And it was confirmed by Brady that there was a lot of speculation, even by Dana White from UFC, that Brady was going to go with Rob Gronkowski to Las Vegas back in 2022. So if they were thinking about doing it in 2022, I get it. Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler. What if Mark Davis was like, hey, man, we didn't get the quarterback that we wanted. Let's run it back with Tom Brady. Because one of the things that at this point, what can Tom Brady accomplish? There's a part of me that wonders if Brady's getting a little bit of offended, the fact that people now are saying, is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT, even though Brady is 1-0 against him. But if you want to really cement yourself as the GOAT of all GOATs, and it can't be challenged, if Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with the Raiders without Josh McDaniels, because he already proved that he could win one without Belichick and technically McDaniels before, but going to a city where McDaniels and Ziegler failed the way that he did, Brady's about legacy, and that's a good way to create an even better legacy for TB12. But when I started this show, we started with Chucky heads. Now we do just win babies. So here's your opportunity to tell me, what are the chances? How many just win babies on Tom Brady joining the Las Vegas Raiders? 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, if you're like, Mitch, I don't know the Raider rumor meter. I'm new to the show. Here's what it is. If it's a 0 just win babies means it's not happened. Tuck rule, tuck that. 1 just win baby means small shred of truth. Think 25%. 2, 50%. 3, 75. 4, 100% chance that it is going to happen. So here's the thing. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. I want you to scroll on down. Give me your answer. How many just win babies on Tom Brady joining the Las Vegas Raiders? My answer is 0 just win babies. If it happens, shit, I think I got to change it. Tuck rule to something else. I understand that Tom Brady hinted at the idea that he could return to the NFL and that the Las Vegas Raiders are a preferred destination. However, though, I think if he were to return, he's going to go to New England. He's not going to go to the Silver and Black. Like, why not go to New England where Bill Belichick is no longer there to, again, be able to create even more of a legacy for TB12. The other reason why I'm just so confident that it's not going to happen is because this goes against everything Antonio Pierce has said of what he's looking for in a quarterback. He wants somebody that is not a Band-Aid. I know what Tom Brady is. Tom Brady is a Band-Aid at the quarterback position at this point of his NFL career. On top of that, wants somebody that he can rely on for the next 10 years. I don't see Tom Brady playing until he's 57 years old. I mean, then again, Mike Tyson's about to get into a fight. You never know what's going to happen. AP also wants a quarterback that's mobile. Tom Brady is never and will never be a mobile quarterback, despite the fact that he posted a video of him running with a shirt off. Now, don't get me wrong. I get a little bit of annoyed the fact that I even got to talk about this topic, but I had so many people ask me, Mitch, Brady said he wants to be a Raider. If the Raiders don't end up getting a quarterback, could Tom Brady potentially be an answer for the Silver and Black? Well, guess what? Luckily for you, we are going to talk about it here on today's show, because if Tom Brady returns to the NFL, I don't see it being with New England. Or I see it being with New England and not the Raiders. Like, I also don't know if it's good to be the quarterback of a team then that you're also about to owe. I'll also say that I don't see Tom Brady coming back to the NFL. He's got a 11-year, like $270 million contract with Fox, and like, sure, he can make some money with the Raiders, but the amount of money that he's going to be passing up to play for the Raiders at age 47, I just can't even wrap my mind around it. But you know what? Let's have some fun here. The NFL draft is still a few days away, and this offseason is going to be one that I hope that we remember for a long time. So coming up, why the Raiders would and wouldn't sign Tom Brady. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why they would and 4 reasons why they wouldn't. I'll get into that, but I got to tell you about our sponsor here, and shout out to Game Time. Last minute tickets, say it with me, lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop sooner, like the event's getting ready to come up. The prices will just go down, and this has been a tactic. This has been something that I've used and looked at when I'm personally trying to buy tickets, whether family's in town. My dad, he's going to be in town at the end of May. We're going to go on the Game Time app. We're going to look at some tickets. Maybe we can go to a Rangers game. Maybe we can go see a Stars game if they're still playing. Bottom line is we're going to look for things to do, and if you're like me and you want to wait until the last minute and get those low prices, Game Time is the app for you. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know exactly what you're getting, and it's going to be a great deal. I also love that, it's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. The last-minute tickets, the flash deals, the zone deals are clutch, and they also have that event cancellation protection, which even if you were to get a ticket and you find out, oh, crap, I can't go now last minute, Game Time's got you covered. Obviously, terms apply. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I love Game Time because it helps me create lasting memories with people that I love, and I think that you're going to also be able to save some money. Have a good time. If you're interested in getting started with Game Time, that link's going to be available to you all down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. All right, coming up here, why the Raiders would and wouldn't sign Tom Brady. I know, we're talking about it, and guess what? Oh, y'all are listening. It's kind of wild at times what we do here on the show, but trending topics, especially when it's Tom Brady, a potential owner of the Raiders, you got to talk about it, right? So here's why it would make sense for the Raiders to sign Tom Brady. The Silver and Black miss on a quarterback in the draft. And when I say they miss on a QB in the draft, that also means that they're also not 100% confident in Gardner Minshew or a guy like Aiden O'Connell. So if you miss on all these QBs and you're like, you know what? Tom Brady still gives us the best chance to win. Maybe you go out and try to find an option to go ahead and sign him. What about if Brady signs a cheap deal? Like, I'm not signing TB12, and I'm not paying Gardner Minshew the amount of money that I did if I still got to sign Tom Brady to a $30 million deal. That ain't freaking happening. The only way I'm signing Tom Brady is if he's willing to play for less than $10 million per year. I don't know if that happens. It's just a lot of money invested in Gardner and in Tom Brady. What about this next one? One of the things that Antonio Pierce continues to say is that he wants guys that are like player coaches. That's what Tom Brady is. The Raiders hired Marvin Lewis. They also ended up hiring Joe Philbin, 2 former NFL head coaches, because AP wants more of that experience. If you're not confident in Rich Scangarillo, if you're not confident in Luke Getsy, why not add the greatest quarterback of all time to be that player coach on your offense? if the Raiders view TB12 as an upgrade at QB, like if Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco want to create competition, and if your job is to make sure that that QB room is the best it possibly can be, if I were to ask Telesco and Antonio Pierce who's the best quarterback out of Tom Brady, Aiden O'Connell, and Gardner Minshew, and if both of those guys say, I would trust Tom Brady more than the other two, well, then that's really the biggest reason of why you would even make this happen. So my question, because at the end of the day, this is the question. If Tom Brady is not the answer to this question, this is a big old waste of time. However, though, I think that there are people out there that think Tom Brady is still a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew. Tom Brady is still a better quarterback than Aiden. I also know that there's going to be a lot of people that don't think that. So my answer on who I would pick as a starter, for me personally, if I got to pick a starter in the regular season, I am actually going to go with, at this point, I believe Gardner Minshew would be a better quarterback than Tom Brady in the regular season based on the offense that the Silver and Black are going to run. But I'd be lying to tell you, if you made it to the playoffs, which quarterback would I rather have? Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, or a 47-year-old Tom Brady? I'm going to take that 47-year-old Tom Brady, and I'm going to try to make sure that he's not the reason why we end up losing football games. The final reason is this. If you end up bringing in Brady, let's face it, that means Aiden O'Connell is your quarterback 3. If you bring in TB12, he's your starter, Gardner's your second guy, Aiden's QB3. If I was the Raiders in that situation, I would have Aiden learn behind Tom Brady for a year, and then because he's got some starting experience, he's also learning behind Tom Brady, then that following year, there will be a team that offers you a 6th-round pick, a 7th-round pick on Aiden for the sole purpose that he learned underneath Tom Brady and had some of that starting experience. That would be why you would. Coming up next here is why you wouldn't sign Tom Brady. And again, I think I've made my point pretty clear here. I don't think it makes sense for the Silver and Black to do it. Even if you miss out on a quarterback in the draft, I'd rather you just roll with Gardner. I'd rather you just roll with Aiden O'Connell, use some of that money, allocate it in a little bit of a different way. On top of that, it kind of goes against what you've been trying to build with the Silver and Black. But again, I'll get into why you wouldn't sign Brady. However, though, I do want you to take a screenshot of this. This is when Chugs and I are going to be live this week here on the Raiders Report. Monday, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, Friday, 90 minutes before the NFL Draft starts. Then on Saturday, the 27th, we're going to be live an hour before the NFL Draft starts. Every pick, all 7 rounds, we're going to get them before you see them on TV. Don't miss it. Here we go. Why the Raiders wouldn't sign Tom Brady. The Raiders drafted a quarterback. If you draft a QB at all, it doesn't make sense to draft. It doesn't make sense to sign Tom Brady. Like, yeah, I'm not really worried about Anthony Brown, but to me, if you're going to use one of your 8 picks to go draft a guy, then you already are pretty confident in your quarterback room. At least, like, that's the group that I'm going to have and go out there and compete. I'll also say I'd be curious to see if it'd be bad for the locker room because, yeah, he's not Josh McDaniels' guy, but he was a part of the Josh McDaniels system at one point. And if you want to try to weed out these Patriots, which that's what Tom Brady is known as, like, is that a bad fit for this locker room? I know the Raiders love Gardner Minshew. I know the Raiders love Aiden O'Connell, those guys in that room. Also, this would be a really bad fit, bad look, I think, for a lot of fans. I mean, I'm doing this show right now. We had multiple fans say that they wouldn't root for the Raiders. Yet some people would still root for Derek Carr. Kind of weird. He isn't an upgrade. I don't think that Tom Brady is an upgrade over Gardner Minshew right now, at this moment. He did not play football last season. The last time I saw TB12 play wasn't all that great. So the fact that we just saw Gardner Minshew do what he just did, I don't think that Tom Brady is an upgrade over Minshew. And then the last thing is this. He does not fit anything of what Antonio Pierce is looking for. And I know I already kind of hit on this one, but he doesn't want a Band-Aid, wants a quarterback for the next 10 years, wants a quarterback that can win with his legs. None of those things are what Tom Brady is. Now, if you made it this far in the show, especially a show on the Raiders Report that talks about Tom Brady, you are the definition of a real one. And I want you to spam real one down below because I know that that topic is not an easy topic for the nation to talk about. But in the offseason, I like to be able to have those type of adult conversations because at the end of the day, I like to talk about the Raiders no matter what it is. So all I ask is if you watch the show, hopefully you're able to give me some adult conversations, adult talking points, and don't just freak out and say, oh my God, Mitch is saying Tom Brady to the Raiders. As if you actually watch it, if anything, I said the complete opposite.